Hey traders, welcome back to another daily profit and loss recap video. Today is Wednesday, August 9th. I just finished up trading for the morning and I locked in $2,528 in profits from two trades, one of them a winning trade and one of them a losing trade. And in this video, we're going to break down how to be profitable with a low accuracy or with a low win rate, as well as go over each of these individual trades and talk about my thought process behind them so that hopefully you can take something from my trading and apply it to your own. Okay, so let's get right into it. The first and main trade for me today was with the stock TNGX. I've been away from the markets and actually haven't traded really over the past week. So yesterday I did come back and I was looking for an opening range breakout or some kind of morning momentum to kind of get the ball rolling and to get back into it. And unfortunately, I didn't really see any setups that were worth taking for myself. So I didn't do any trading yesterday either. Today though, we got TNGX, which ended up being a really solid opening range breakout and a big runner this morning. So let's go ahead and break down this price action that we saw at the market open. First and foremost, this was gapping up this morning in pre-market. That is kind of the first thing that I like to look for when I'm looking for these opening range breakout setups. The reason for that is because a gap up just tells us that there is buyers in this stock. People are buying this up in the extended hours trading session. Usually all of that demand for the stock is because of some kind of press release or some kind of news that was put out by the company. And that's what really makes these setups so bullish for a potential continuation once the market opens. Now, of course, you don't want to just buy into any stock that's gapping up. Every setup is going to be different than the last, but when you do get an opening range breakout like we did with TNGX this morning, that is going to be a really good sign that that momentum is continuing in the market hours. Okay, so with TNGX, if we take a look over here at the Market Master group, one of the things that we do for our traders every single morning is provide the opening range breakout levels for the stocks that are gapping up the most in pre-market. These have the best potential for being big runners in the market hours. So that being said, TNGX this morning had an opening range breakout level posted of $5.69. Okay, so if we go over to our chart, we're going to go ahead and just draw that level on our chart, $5.69. We will go ahead and extend that all the way throughout the chart. And we can see that it pretty much right away starts to push through that $5.69 level. Straight through the VWAP, straight through the opening range breakout level. I actually ended up buying this stock about 20 cents later, up in the 580s. More often than not, what we see happen is a stock will have this opening range breakout, and then it will pull back underneath that breakout level, maybe bounce around the VWAP a little bit before heading back up and squeezing to new highs, or before failing and starting to dump back down towards the opening price. Either way, usually what I would be looking for is that pullback, and then I would look to see how the price reacts from that pullback before getting in. That is, of course, unless I'm looking for just a very quick scalp and I'm buying immediately into that breakout. But with TNGX, because we didn't get that pullback and because I missed the initial entry on this first push through that breakout level, I ended up buying up in the 580s. I had a total of 2,000 shares, and we can see that this pretty much immediately started to spike to the upside. We actually got our first volatility halt here at 9:39 this morning. And once the trading resumed from that halt, I posted in the Market Master group to keep in mind there is quite a bit of resistance in the $7 area from the extended hours trading session. And my plan was to lock in some profits accordingly based on that resistance. So I locked in a portion of my profits once that first halt ended up in the $6.80 area. Now, keyword there is portion because I don't sell all of my shares at once, and I usually don't buy all of my shares at once. I like to scale into my trades and scale out of my trades, and that makes it a lot easier to capture a bigger portion of the move when a stock has such a big run to the upside. So now, even though I locked in some profits up here just under $7 per share, and I took some of my risk off of the table, I was still holding on to some shares in case the stock continued to run. And it did end up continuing to run. It ran all the way up to over $8 per share. And then once it started to pull back under 8, we can see that there's a few candlesticks here that start to have these long upper wicks on them. Down here on the daily chart, we can also see that there is some resistance all the way from about $8 per share up to $8.40 or $8.50. So once it did begin to pull back from that level today, and it started to form these long upper wicks on these candlesticks, I was pretty confident that we were going to see a pullback from there, at least down to VWAP, if not back under the VWAP. So I locked in the rest of my profits, Ended up with a total of $2,727 in profits on that trade. And over here in the Market Master group, we also had quite a few traders making some money on this opening range breakout as well. We had a scalp on TNGX here. Murph locked in $342 on this TNGX trade as well. Goku Chan locked in $245, $480 in profits here. Another trader that was able to finish up their day at just 9:47 this morning, 17 minutes after the market opened, thanks to this trade in TNGX. Kane was just short of his daily goal because of the TNGX trade. So it's really great to see all of our traders recognizing when there is a very solid opening range breakout trade and seeing so many of them capitalizing on it as well. All right, that being said, the next trade for me today, which was a losing trade, was the stock MF. MF was a big runner last week. Like I said, I was not in the markets at the end of last week, so I was not watching this in real time, but coming back into the market after taking some time off, it is very important to review some of the recent movers that you might have missed out on, and one of those for me was the stock MF. The reason that I was watching this for a move today is because yesterday we got this big gap down from the previous day's close. That can of course usually be seen as a sign of weakness. So from there, a lot of times we'll see the stock continue to fade lower and lower and lower throughout the day. But with MF, we saw this gap down and it kind of just started to consolidate and hold around this $2 level. Started to form a little bit of support in that area as well. So this was on my radar today for a push back up to this 250 area. And because of that, at the market open, once it started to break back above 2, I decided to take a starter position in this. I had an average price of about $2.05 with 2,000 shares, and my risk level was down here using this morning low. I would have most likely looked to have added some more shares into this if it was able to start forming a base above $2.10, but sure enough, it failed to have any follow through, started to pull back under the VWAP, and I recently sold as it came back down to my risk level at $1.90. On that trade, I lost $199, which brought my total profits for the day down to $2,528. Okay, so the topic and the title of this video is in regards to still being a profitable trader, even with a relatively low win rate or a low accuracy. And the fact of the matter is that you don't need to be profitable on 50% of your trades, 60% of your trades, 70% of your trades. You can still be a profitable trader if even only 30% of your trades are wins and the other 70% of your trades are losses. What it boils down to is how big your profitable trades are and making sure that they are big enough to outweigh your losing trades. So the one thing that I want to point out about this trade with MF is that I had a risk level in mind using this morning low down here of $1.92. That was about 13 cents away from my entry point. And as soon as it pulled back into that level, I cut losses on this trade and just took my loss. On the other side of the spectrum, with the TNGX trade, I was a little bit more patient with this since it was a winning trade. I let it work in my favor, locked in again a portion of my profits, and let the rest of my shares run up to new highs. And that is a big reason in why this winning trade was able to so easily outweigh that smaller losing trade. And unfortunately, most new traders do the opposite. They hold on to their losing trades for too long, and they exit out of their winning trades much too quickly. That's something that's just going to take time and practice, but I did want to mention it because it is such an important aspect of being a profitable trader. All right, but anyway, that was my trading for the day. Again, I was able to lock in $2,528 in profits. Really nice way to come back into the markets after taking about a week off. Hopefully you found some value in this video, and if you did, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you want to hear about these stocks that I'm trading in real time, as well as work with our team of traders, get access to our day trade and swing trade alerts, our detailed trade plans, our live custom scanner streams, and so on and so forth, all of that can be found in the Market Master group. There's going to be a link down below in the description for you to get signed up. But anyway, thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck with your trading.